There's a pressing issue in higher education in the UK, a decline in overseas undergraduate students. And according to the UCAS data today, the number of international students accepting places at UK's universities has dropped by 2.3%. While seemingly modest, this dip reflects deeper concerns for our higher education system, which relies heavily on revenue generated by international tuition fees. In 2024, 69,905 overseas applicants secured undergraduate spots for UK institutions, down from 71,540 in 2023. Notably, Chinese students, a dominant group among this international cohort, saw a 1.9% decline, signalling potential shifts in global student mobility. And compounding these figures, visa applications between July and September fell by 16%, reflecting the chilly effect of policy changes such as restrictions on dependents or um, or the move to not taking students from other countries, like for example Russia. And this trend presents a financial headache for universities. Domestic tuition fees are capped at £9,250, while international students pay significantly higher, often exceeding £20,000 annually. And these fees subsidise research and teaching quality for all students, meaning a shortfall directly threatens institutional stability. And Universities UK has sounded the alarm, emphasising the importance of maintaining the UK's global competitiveness as a study destination. While the political rhetoric around international students has softened under the current government, restrictive policies such as the dependence ban remains in place, undermining our appeal compared to nations like the US and Australia. And the Higher Educational Policy Institute warns against complacency, noting concerns from students who feel exploited as mere revenue streams, cash cows. And this is particularly felt in the Chinese community, where a problems with language and a failure of the IELTS system to accurately determine a level of language, because the IELTS exam is absurd. And maybe I should make another video about that at some point. I've taught it for many years, and the Chinese system of education doesn't emphasize the speaking as much as it emphasizes the writing and the listening, and therefore the speaking level of English is often very poor. And students arrive here thinking that their English is good, and they find their English is execrable, and that they cannot really communicate. And this tends to produce smaller communities within universities of exclusively Chinese students. It's not only obvious among the Chinese community that there are other communities that stick together because IELTS and the teaching of IELTS doesn't actually promote the active use of English, particularly orally. And we need to address that. We need to address the way that English is taught globally, and the way that English is assessed globally, because it's becoming a problem. And we need to make sure that we have support in place for international students. Maybe some sort of buddy system would be excellent. The decline in international student uptake also highlights broader struggles faced by international students, from navigating cultural complexities to academic integration and dealing with homesickness and discrimination. Their journey is complex, and there is little support. Indeed, the Home Office is quite vigorous in pursuing any student if there's a slight bureaucratic blip in their paperwork. And that can happen easily, because the box ticking, which may seem onerous to an average British national, is absurd and maddening and often incomprehensible to somebody whose first language is not English. Adding to this is the lingering impact of COVID-19, which has exacerbated isolation and uncertainty. And international students bring intangible benefits such as cultural diversity, global perspectives, cross-border collaboration that enhance the university experience for everyone. The decline, therefore, is not just a financial issue, but a loss of vibrant academic interplay in the academic ecosystem. Other countries are not standing still. Meanwhile, the US has dangled green cards for international graduates under new policies, while Australia and Canada have simplified visa processes and emphasized post-study work opportunities. In contrast, the UK's stance is tepid and inward-focused. And to reverse this trend, the UK needs to act more decisively. Policies should prioritise flexibility, support mechanisms for student well-being, active promotion of the UK as a welcoming destination, investing in initiatives like intercultural mentoring, which can address the stresses that students face when they come here, to foster a sense of belonging. Furthermore, universities must engage international students as partners, not as mere financial contributors, to rebuild trust, to reassure them that they are not just a cash cow. The decline in overseas student numbers is a warning and an opportunity. By addressing policy gaps, enhancing the student experience, ensuring that the Home Office doesn't simply see these as part of its statistical grab to ensure that migration is seen to be countered, then the UK can affirm its position as a premier destination for independent and in international education. But without that, without serious changes in the way that we do business, we are going to lose this important revenue stream, this important cultural opportunity, and it will lead inevitably to the collapse of many of our universities.